Hi, Capricorn. Welcome back to Leigh's Intuitive Tarot. My name is Leigh, and today we're going to move further into the new love spreads with your soulmate by doing another reading, okay? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you'd like to book a personal reading, there is a link in the description box below. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, Happy New Year, Capricorns. I hope everybody is doing well. Here we go. Okay, Capricorn. Overall energy for this week's reading is the King of Swords, air sign or someone with a lot of air in their chart, Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. Excuse me. This is talking about, truth, independence, all of the things like, being a top shelf person and I guess knowing how to balance your logic with your emotion in order to be in a healthy relationship, okay? Underneath this is the King of Wands, fire sign or someone with a lot of fire in their chart, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. This can talk about, having a lot of passion in the connection. It can also speak of like preparing yourself for that connection. With the Ten of Swords, I feel like, you're wanting to put an end to the betrayal, the backstabbing, the cheating, all of the lies, okay? And with the Six of Cups, this is talking about you coming together with your soulmate, okay? And in this lifetime, having a healthy relationship together, okay? So we're going to start by clarifying this King of Swords. Okay, so we've got the Making Plans card. So, this could just involve like later on when you and your person come together, or for those of you that are already together with your person, like you making plans to do things together, like to have fun together, okay? Or just spend time with each other. Then we've got the Divine Timing card showing up here, everybody's favorite card, right? It says things may feel slow or uncertain, but the universe is right on time. Love is unfolding exactly when it's meant to. This is just a reminder from Spirit that everything is going to happen when it's time for it to happen. And it's going to be, it's individual. It's, has to do with, each individual person when that's going to happen. Okay, so when it comes to your person, we have the Awakening card. So your person's going through a spiritual awakening, like just, like you are, I feel like. Then we have the Avoidant card showing up here. It says they keep their distance to feel safe, but it leaves you feeling abandoned. That's not your failure, that it's their fear. So I feel like this is something, that both you and your person have been through when it comes to relationships. People who are avoidant. These are the people that usually try to tell you that you too much, you want too much, because they have things that they have to work out themselves. And, they're in the midst of that. And a lot of times, some avoidant people don't want to focus on what the problem is. They want to just be avoidant. So this is, like a red flag. You may see people like this come into your energy when you are waiting for your person. When you have all these other options coming towards you, some of them may be avoidant. Okay, I feel like your person has gone through this a lot as well in their relationships, and I feel like they're healing wounds that they have around this. Okay, all right. So the first placement we're going to look at is talking about your true feelings, and then we're going to look at what you want from the relationship. Excuse me. When it comes to your true feelings, we have the Empress and the High Priestess. So it's Pisces energy and Taurus Libra energy for the Empress. This is talking about, you with the High Priestess, listening to your intuition and, opening yourself up to this connection with the Empress card, because the Empress card can talk about, just getting more in touch with your softer side. Okay. Because everybody's been through stuff. Everybody's been hurt and mistreated and stuff like that. And so it's just about you healing those wounds so you can step into this connection when you're ready. Let's clarify. So this is about you, unsticking yourself from things that make you feel stuck, like, negative thoughts, limiting beliefs, things that you've gone through, like I said, that need healing. Okay. For some of you, you got family echoes, showing up here. It says old family patterns may be playing out in your love life. until those echoes are healed, they'll keep repeating through new faces. So it's just like, you know, when you, excuse me, go through a lot of different relationships and you date, you feel like you dating the same person, they just in a different body because they do the same shit and trigger you the same way and do all these things. That's what this is talking about, because a lot of those issues that you have with these people go back to the time of your upbringing with your family. I'm not saying necessarily that your family caused these things, but whatever you were exposed to at that time could have potentially contributed to it. And so, like I said, if you want those replays to stop, you want people to stop coming into your life and being like that, it has to do with you cleaning up your energy by, you know, healing your thoughts. Okay, so, excuse me. When it comes to what you want from the relationship, we've got the Seven of Pentacles showing up here and the Lovers, which is Gemini energy. So these two cards are talking about, you know, you wanting this connection with this person where you and this person you vibe on every level, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. And with the Seven of Pentacles, it is talking about, you know, you planting your seeds in order to have this type of harvest. Okay. When it comes to your love life. Let's clarify. Okay, you and your person are at a distance, okay? And we talked about why that is, right? Because there's a need to slow down the evolution of the connection. It doesn't need to go very fast because you've both gotten out of things and you may still be a little anxious or a little, I don't know, on what they call it, on tenterhooks when you're, you know, you're trying to tread lightly because, you know, so that you don't get triggered and so you don't trigger your person. So we've got a cheater card. So some of you may have been dealing with people in the past where, you know, they were cheating on you, right? Some people I've talked to, or, you know, and they've talked about how almost every person that they dealt with cheated on them. And so when something like that happens, it's just like this Family Echoes card. Remember where it's saying that it's going to keep showing up until you heal it? That's what this is. This is a lot about having some type of belief around this, that either you saw somebody around you growing up doing this. You know, like I said, it doesn't have to be a parent. It could have been somebody from school, some of your friends' parents. It could have been, you know, a teacher. It could have been anything, okay? Whoever you are around, and some kind of way you may have formed some type of belief in order to protect yourself from this type of thing. But apparently for some of you, you know, that didn't work because you had this show up in your life, you know, anyway, because a lot of times this can stem from you thinking you're not good enough. Okay. Because someone that feels like this would, you know, sometimes have somebody that does things like this to them. Okay. So like I told you, it's your energy. It's cleaning up your energy so people can't just come into it willy-nilly and just do whatever the fuck they want to do. Okay. All right. Then we've got rushing things. We talked about this all the time, all the time. The fact that some of y'all got commitment issues, but you trying to rush this person to come. If you still try to heal things like this, you don't want this person to come yet. You want them to come after this is gone. Because I keep trying to tell y'all, the things that have gone unhealed, it's like you're leaving yourself open for all the undesirable, the things that you haven't healed. You're leaving yourself open for all the undesirable experiences to start to show up in your life. So that's why, you know, I beat that dead horse and tell y'all that you need to heal. Okay. And then rushing things. It says rushing through the romance, hit pause and let things simmer. Good things take time. And so does lasting love. Like I said, you know, I get a lot of you been single for a long time, healing for a long time, or you got out of this relationship with these, you know, you get out of these relationships with these people and you just want to go on back into another one. But you got to have that time to yourself. Okay, there's a disconnect. That's what you got to understand. Like I tell y'all pick us fucked up. There's some type of disconnect too. Because if there wasn't you wouldn't keep putting yourself in relationships with people who fucking mistreat you when you know that's been the status quo for you. Okay? Like I said, you got to stop beating your head against the wall, Capricorn, and wondering why the fuck it's hurting. You gotta figure out like what you need to do to keep that from happening. So this is about you loving yourself more than you love being in a relationship. Okay? Once you start to put yourself first, like I said, if you put yourself first and you love yourself enough, you ain't gonna have to rush nothing. The person is gonna come in when the time is right, but you also have to remember the other person went through things as well. Like, let me give you an example. There's people that be in the comments, right? I tell y'all about these things, right, that your person has gone through, and some of you've gone through them as well, right? So we talk about like this, like the cheating, right? So there'll be people in the comments that are like, I want somebody, who is such and such and such, and they don't have no issues, and I'm like, and it just, I'm like, I don't know. I'm thinking it's these people that don't watch on a regular basis, or they come in and they see one video and they come in and watch that video or whatever. Because I'm like, y'all know better. Y'all know better. Y'all know what I tell you. Fuck them lists. Fuck all that stuff y'all saying, because ain't nobody on this damn earth perfect. Okay? And whenever you go into something like that, you end up messing shit up for yourself, because you go in with the entitled attitude, how people talk about, how they talk about Karens, and they talk about how, there's some people on this earth that feel entitled and feel like they entitled to a certain level of treatment and a certain type of thing or whatever, without them having to do anything to afford it. These are the type of people that I'm talking about. I'm like, you have to, just like you're expecting your person to police themselves, you have to police yourself as well. That's all I'm saying. Okay? All right. Because like I said, doing that, going in with that type of attitude, because it be some people, and I told you, I know they can't be regulars. I know they can't watch this channel on a regular basis. And they'll be saying certain things, and I'll be like, whoo. No, I be feeling bad for some of these people, persons, the people that are coming, because I'm like, ooh, baby, I don't know if you're going to be able to deal with that. So let's move forward. The next placement we're going to look at is talking about your person's true feelings. So we got the Page of Cups, water sign, or someone with a lot of water in their chart, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Then we got the Ten of Pentacles. So this is talking about your person wanting to build a legacy with you and wanting to come forward and, give you a love offer. And like I told you, for some of you, a small amount of you, if it's not your message, please don't take it. You had a false start with your person, some of you. Because see, look at what I'm talking about. False start, because like I told you, spirit is still testing you. It doesn't matter that you walked away from this other person. They're still testing you to make sure you've learned whatever lessons you've learned. And if they keep putting you in certain positions, are you going to be able to walk away, even if it is your soulmate acting crazy? Are you going to be able to put yourself first and walk away from this person? Because that is of the utmost importance. That's why I talk to you all the time about self-love and putting yourself first, yourself and your needs. That's why this right here, you don't need to be doing this, because this is about you and making sure you are okay. Okay, so let's clarify. Ooh. So we got the bad timing card. See, this is why you can't rush. We got the bad timing card showing up here. So it says the universe isn't punishing you. It's protecting what isn't fully aligned yet. What's truly meant for you won't miss you. Okay. Then we got mixed signals. It says, are they into you? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Sometimes even they don't know. See, we want to avoid this, right? Because you've been dealing with some form of this shit all your life. And it's humiliating to have people come into your life and act like this. One day they hot, the next day they fucking cold. And it's like, it makes you crazy, because you like, okay, well, fucking which one is it? Do you want to be in this relationship or do you not? Let me tell you this. There's somebody there was a video I was watching today where somebody was talking about, why some men that have walked away from specific, particular women, why they end up coming back to those women. That's what it was. And in the comments, there was somebody talking about how they've been in love with a man for 13 years and that this man is a womanizer, and how the man specifically told them that they didn't want to be in a relationship with them, or they would never be in a relationship with them, that, all they would ever pretty much be is friends. And so the woman is like, once he told her that, after 13 years, Capricorn, she's saying now, talking about cutting him off. And I'm like, but why did it take you 13 years to realize that this person is playing games with you? This shit right here is what I'm talking about. And so that's why I tell y'all, self-love and fucking discernment is important. We all done been there. We've all lost time, trying to be there or be right for somebody who apparently don't give a fuck, right? So my thing is this is why when you're being shown cards like this, talking about mixed signals, talking about the fact that it's bad timing, don't be trying to rush that fucking shit, because when you trying to rush some shit, this is the type of shit you end up with, is this right here. This is my point, right? This is like pushing yourself into an unnecessary situation, or you having to be tested on some fucking shit that you might not would have had to be tested on if you wasn't trying to rush stuff. That's why I said, be all into yourself. When people be talking about something, oh, I'm so obsessed with this person. Don't be obsessed with nobody else. Be obsessed with yourself, Capricorn. Forget all these people, because the person that's going to be with you, they going to fucking be with you when it's time for y'all to be together. Because what you got to understand is, in this situation, I tell y'all this all the time, it's not just you that has to get ready. It is this person that does as well. And, a lot of times we'll end up being hard on the new person because of all the shit that we experienced in the past. But what you got to understand is, that person is human just like you. Like you are. They went through similar, if not the same shit that you did. And you got to think about, how would you want somebody to treat you if you had gone through the things that you had gone through and you've been dragged or whatever? You would feel some kind of way if he or she came into a relationship with you and was treating you like you was a fucking imbecile, because you what I'm saying? You was in a situation with somebody and they come in telling you, oh, so you just allowed yourself to be dragged or whatever like that. You would be mad if somebody did some shit like that to you. But you got to turn it around and look at what you're saying. Some of y'all in the comments, the fact that you're saying, oh, I want somebody who just don't have I'm like, this is life. And I feel like it's like sometimes some of us go searching for shit to be fucked up. Like we want to self-sabotage so badly that we will go look for things, Like I told you with the sign thing, us saying, oh, if they are this sign, I don't want. I'm like, fuck that shit. Because tell me this. Tell me how many of y'all have met people and they tell you what their zodiac sign is, and you never would have thought they was that sign, because they don't act anything like the sign at all, right? There's people out there like that. So it's just like you can't put people in a box for other things. You can't put people in a box over some shit like that too. And then the things that you go through, because it was, I don't know, I'm trying to remember, this person was saying something about, well, I don't want no man that was crying over a woman. I'm like, but you probably was crying over whoever the hell did whatever the fuck they did to you. So I'm just like, I don't understand why it is that some people, when they get or they feel like they done got themselves together, they want to be hard and look down on other people for going through the same shit that they went through. It's like it's okay for them to go through the shit, but it's not okay for anybody else to. But then you think you're going to be in a healthy relationship. I'm trying to draw your attention to this crazy thing, these crazy things we be fucking thinking and the shit we be saying, because it's another way that you step on your own fucking feet and you cut your nose off to spite your face. I tell y'all this all the time. It's another form of self-sabotage. And so that's why you don't need to be rushing things, because you don't want to go into no connection. You don't want nobody doing this. How many times y'all done had somebody in a relationship and you 100% certain you want to be with the person, but they, I don't know, who want to go through that? Who want to go through that again? And so by you rushing things, it's like you putting up the potential for this type of shit to happen again. And who the fuck want to go through that? You trying to work on yourself. You trying to be better. And then you, cause you rushing, you bringing this type of shit in. Who wants to do that? All that's going to do is discourage you and make it even more difficult to, and have you where you don't even want to get into a relationship. That's why I tell you, don't do that. Don't do that. Spirit knows what they're doing. And when you act like, oh, well, you just need to give it to me now, because that's what that sounds like. I told y'all this before about the fucking Christmas present, right? If you all excited, you get somebody a damn Christmas present and you all excited, you like, they just gonna love this or whatever. You all happy that you getting ready to make somebody happy, and the person take your fucking Christmas gift and it's like, open it up and say, what the fuck is this? I don't want this. And then they throw it down. How would you feel if somebody did that to you? You would feel like shit if it was somebody that you really cared about. So you got to think about that when y'all go into the comments and saying all this crazy stuff. Think about what you're saying. Like I said, self-reflection. Look, how they say reading is fundamental. Fucking self-reflection is fundamental too. Because some people don't look at the way that they coming at stuff, and then they don't understand why they can't, they don't want to give nobody no grace but themselves. And then they get into a relationship and they wonder why the shit don't work out. And then them be the people that be saying, oh, I've been by myself for all these damn years. And I'm like, okay, well, if it's been all this time, you haven't found anybody, that is when it's time for you to start looking at the man in the mirror and trying to figure out why the fuck, you can't find nobody. What is it you're doing wrong? Because you can't just say it's everybody, because everybody don't take things or deal with things the same way. And so if, say you've dated 10 different people and you keep coming up with the same result, who is the common denominator in that? It's not them people, it's you. So like I said, you have to be willing. That's a part of self-love. You have to be willing to look at yourself and look at where you're falling short. And when your person lets you know, hey, I feel like we need to work on this, or this, this right here, it ain't, this is like a sore spot, something we got to deal with. You got to be willing to listen to what this person is saying, because this is somebody that, like I said, that's potentially going to be a life partner, or somebody with whom, you're going to be with for a long time, somebody that's going to have your back, that's going to be ride or die. But just because they ride or die don't mean they not going to fucking let you know when you falling short, because you going to let them know, right? So I'm saying all of this to say, stop doing things to mess yourself up. Stop trying to throw roadblocks in the way of this, right? The person is coming. Spirit tell you every week the person is coming. They tell you the type of person that this person is going to be, what you need to work on. But some of y'all done decided that, okay, I'm ready, and I don't care what Spirit say. I'm ready for my person now, or whatever. And then they not, you're not working on yourself. You're not doing the stuff you're supposed to do. And then you want to rush it. And then them going to be the same motherfucking people that's going to get mad when some shit like this show up, or some shit like this shows up, or the person comes in, but they ain't motherfucking ready because you was doing this. So, like I said, when you start to lose patience or become impatient and stuff like that, maybe you need to just back up off of this and focus on more on yourself and the goals that you have. Because a lot of y'all got goals. It's the beginning of the year, right? You got certain things. You know, you were supposed to do the list, right? Or what it is you gonna do. Because I tell y'all, you need to start making a list of the things you've always wanted to do and start doing them. Stop waiting on somebody to come for that to happen. Because what if a person never shows up? So you just gonna sit there for the rest of your life? Oh, they'll be here any minute. They'll be here any minute. Then I get to do all these things when they get. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. Life is happening now. It's not happening when the person get there. Life been going on before they even existed. Okay? And I'm telling you this not because I'm trying to be a fun snatcher and snatch away, this beautiful, idea you have in your mind about this person. That's not what I'm trying to do. What I'm trying to do is to get you to be more realistic about it and understand that there is life outside of a relationship. You don't need a relationship to be happy. You don't need a relationship to go and fulfill your goals. You don't need a relationship for anything. And like I told you, in this situation, you gotta not need it in order to get it. You have to not need it. It's like manifestation. It's manifestation 101. You have to not need it. Because if you cling into it and you like, oh, it gotta be this and it gotta be that and you gotta do this and you gotta do that, you gonna be here to time immemorial wondering where the hell your person is, while everybody else that is listening to what Spirit is saying and is understanding the assignment and doing what they need to do when they walking off with their person. So like I said, self-reflection is required for some of y'all in this situation. Those of you that oh, I gotta have this and oh, I gotta, and like I said, when you make that list about telling that person, what you need from them and stuff like that, you need to review that list and make sure it's some realistic shit. You need to ask yourself each one of those points. Ask yourself, am I willing to do this for my person? Every one of those things you make on the list. And if the answer is no, then maybe you need to rethink what you're asking for. Okay? Because this is about being fair across the board. Because you can't want somebody to come into your life, Capricorn, and want them to be ride or die and all this shit, but you want to pick and choose when the fuck you gonna be loyal to them. That's a no-no. That's a no-go. That's the quickest way to shut some shit down is to be like that, to be biased towards the person, but everybody's supposed to give you grace. That's not fair. You got to be fair to the person, and you gotta be willing to call your own self on your own bullshit, basically. Okay? All right, let's move forward. Okay, so where are we at? Okay, so we are on what your person wants from the relationship. So we got the 8 of Cups and the 8 of Pentacles showing up here. Okay, so this is talking about, putting in the work. Okay, and with the 8 of Cups, walking away from things that no longer serve you. And putting in the work to create the type of love, love and life you desire. Because this is, like I said, it's about your life too. It's not just about the relationship. Oh, let me get the card for your person. Hold on. Did I clarify? No, I did not. Okay, let me clarify this thing for your person because I didn't pull anything for them for the last one. Okay. So yeah, so like I said, this is a soulmate coming in. This person is serious about you. They're thinking long term, right? Real long term, fantasizing about y'all being together, having a family together. We got requited love showing up here. It says you don't have to wonder. You don't have to prove your worth. You are loved just as much as you love. Okay? All right. Okay, now we're going to clarify for the 8 of Pentacles and the 8 of Cups. But like I said, you got to look at what you're doing, just like you would look at somebody else and be critical about that. You got to be critical about yourself too. So we have crossroads. It's talking about your person being at a crossroads, needing to make a decision. And then we have broken home here. It says, as a child, you never saw healthy love modeled. That's why real intimacy feels confusing or even dangerous. Like I said, a lot of us don't know what it's like to be in a healthy relationship or to have observed one. Because that shit we see on TV, that fucking shit ain't real. That shit is not real. That's what, the media wants us to believe that that's what it is, but that's not a real relationship. Because a real relationship, you don't just ride off into the fucking sunset with somebody. You might be riding off in the sunset with the person and get into a fucking argument on the way out. Like, that's what I'm trying to tell you. It's two human beings, making a choice to be together and doing the work that they need to do to keep it together. Because like I told you, you got to choose this person. Just like you choose yourself, you got to choose this person every fucking day if you want it to work. And they got to do the same for you. Okay? So this person, both of you, one or the both of you may have dealt with, broken home issues, or like I said, not even seeing what a healthy relationship looks like. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's still not saying that you can't have a healthy relationship, but it's about being realistic about certain things. Cause it's like some people feel like because Spirit is saying that they're getting rewarded for certain things, they like losing it and starting to act like, starting to ramp up a sense of entitlement, the stuff that's being rewarded can't be snatched away. That's what I'm trying to say, because it just sounds real disrespectful. Okay. So next placement we're going to look at is talking about what you have in common that binds you as a couple. Hold on, I got the wrong deck. So we got the 9 of Pentacles showing up here, which is the Bachelor and Bachelorette card. It's talking about standing in your power and knowing your worth. So that's how the both of you are going to come in. When you stand in your power and know your worth. And with the King of Pentacles, Earth sign or someone with a lot of Earth in their chart, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, this is talking about both of you seeing each other as your life partner. Okay? All right, let's clarify. See, because it's going to be a relationship where you're going to weather storms. Like, you're going to have a chance to grow a family together, or to bring both sides of your family together. And the weathered storms card, it says this love has weathered storms and you're still sailing. That says more than any picture perfect moment ever could. Okay. So we have still standing. It says you didn't let hard times become a breaking point. This is a love that deepens with every test. Then we have soulmate bond. When you just know. This soulmate connection is deep and real. It's that no explanation needed kind of love. And Spirit is telling you, you just got to have patience. Okay? This, like I said, it's about you enjoying your single life to the fullest. That's why I tell you, make those lists. If you want to go to fucking Africa, get your ass on the plane and go to Africa. If you want if you never seen certain parts of the United States, you from America or you from another country and you want to see the United States, get on the plane and go. Don't sit there and put your life on hold for this person. That's what I'm trying to get y'all to understand. This is about you understanding that you are enough, whether you in a relationship with somebody or not. Just because you ain't in no relationship with nobody does not mean anything. Okay? It does not mean anything. And especially doesn't mean anything negative. Okay? Because like I said, I feel like everybody, before they get married or get in a serious committed relationship, need to go through a damn class where they understand what it's like to truly be independent, to truly be autonomous, and be okay without people. And I'm pretty sure we wouldn't have such high divorce rates and so much chaos, when it's surrounding families and surrounding, just being in relationships, because people bring kids into certain things and they choose the wrong partners, and it can end up being a very destructive cycle, and it can just perpetuate. The more you don't learn and you bring children into it, and you don't provide a healthy dynamic, it's like they learn the same thing and it keeps going, it keeps snowballing. And so at some point, somebody got to take responsibility. Somebody has to take responsibility. Okay? All right, let's move forward. Okay, so the next question we're going to look at is talking about the strengths that keep the relationship going. Make sure I got it. So we've got the Three of Cups and we have the World. So this is all signs. It's talking about closing out old cycles, okay? Overcoming personal challenges to open up new doors and opportunities for yourself. And then, you know, you and this person forming a friendship, okay? Your soulmate, this is soulmate energy. It's a soulmate card, but forming a friendship, celebrating this connection and gradually growing into a long-term committed and stable connection, okay? Let's clarify. So we've got power dynamic showing up here. It says one person holds the control and the other is tiptoeing. Love should feel like a partnership, not a power struggle. Like I said, it's about both of you, you know, standing toe to toe with each other and, you know, avoiding this type of shit, right? Where there are relationships where one person think they can just do whatever the hell they want to do and pull the wool over the other person's eyes, you know, while they doing all of this. Because look at the person here. They don't even realize, you know, because the moon is here. They don't even realize something is going on behind their back. Or it's another card. There's a card I have in the deck where there's three people sitting on the bench. The man is in the middle. He hugged up with one woman. And then behind the bench, he's holding hands with the other woman. So I'm like, you know, that type of stuff. Like I said, if you want to be out there like that, I'm not trying to judge nobody. That's just not my cup of tea. I don't like to share. But there's people out there that like to do that. And if you can do that, more power to you. But I'm just saying, I feel like there's a lot of people that's not what they want. And if you don't want that, then you got to dot your I's and cross your T's and do what you need to do so that you're not showing up with any type of, because we have things in our energy sometimes that we don't even fucking know is there until we experience something fucked up. And so it's about you nipping the shit in the bud the first time it happens so you don't keep doing it. Because it's like, what's that saying? The first time it happens, it's shame on that person, right? But then if it happens again, subsequent times after that, it's shame on you. Because you know what the program is, right? The person has shown you who they are. You got to believe them and move on. You can't just be all about the love relationship and then allow all your other relationships to just be in fucking chaos or to have things going on and you don't even realize they're going on. Okay? All right, let's move on. Okay, so the next placement we're going to look at is talking about weaknesses that are present or need looking into. Okay? Okay, so we've got the Three of Wands showing up here, and we have the Four of Pentacles. So this is about you opening yourself up emotionally, okay? And with the Three of Wands, you know, waiting for your ships to come in, right? So this is about you with the Four of Pentacles, you know, realizing that whatever, you know, you need to be given what it is you're expecting to get in return with this particular person, because this is somebody different. This is somebody who is going to reciprocate what you give and vice versa. So this is about you making sure that you're open to them as they are to you. Okay. So we have money matters here. It says money is becoming a pressure point in this connection, whether it's overspending, income gaps, or a fear of scarcity. So Spirit is telling you to get your coin together, because some of you, as I said before, you got to get out of your current environment. Your current environment is not helping you at all. See, you got your life partner coming here. Your life partner showing up. Some of you, it's not even just the healing. It's actual specific things in your life that don't even have nothing to do with your relationship that could be holding up you coming together with the person. Because like I said, if you are not able to take care of yourself 360, right, alone without needing somebody's help, that could be something holding you back. You know, you gotta look at that. Okay, so when it comes to your person, we've got Dream Team showing up here. It says you don't compete, you combine, and together you're a force to be reckoned with. Okay. Then we've got the Union card showing up here. Like I said, I feel like this gonna happen. You know, y'all gonna be moving in silence, and not a lot of people are gonna know about this. And there's nothing wrong with that, because like I said, you gotta stop excuse me, letting people into your business, because that's between you and your person, I feel like. And then we got the lessons card. So your person is, working on certain lessons and learning certain things. Okay, so the last placement we're going to look at is talking about, will you be happy, and how to strengthen your connection. Okay, so when it comes to will you be happy, we have 9 of Cups. So this is talking about wish fulfillment, and the Temperance card, Sagittarius energy. This is speaking of balance. Okay. So, I feel like you have your wish coming towards you, and Spirit is saying, as long as you stay balanced with the Temperance card, you should be happy. Okay. All right. Let's clarify. Okay, so for your person, we've got trauma bond showing up here. It says you bonded over pain, not peace. Now you're mistaking shared wounds for compatibility. This, like I said, that friend that I just told y'all about, I feel like this is what it was. It was a trauma bond, and it wasn't. I'm not saying that it wasn't a friendship and that we didn't have some good times, but I feel like this is what it was based on, because we had experienced a lot of similar things. And that's how I used to pick some of my friends in my relation, that I had relationships with, was based on us going through similar things, because I wanted somebody that understood what the hell I was going through, and vice versa. Okay. But see, where I made the mistake was, I thought that by picking people that had gone through similar things as me, that they would look at things the way that I did. And even though they had those things, happen to them, whatever ended up going on with them, or whatever fallout they experienced from the trauma, that they wouldn't put it on me, and I wouldn't put mine on them. But of course, that's exactly what ended up happening, right? So we've got the devotion card. So this is about this person coming in and being devoted to you. All right. Like I said, it's about you and the other person completely understanding each other. Right. Because like I said, I feel like a lot of you've never had that. You've never had somebody that truly saw you, or truly sees you and understands you. Okay. So we got the hurt card. A lot of you are still hurt behind things that have happened to you in the distant past. And then we've got physical passion here. It says this connection is charged with desire. Just make sure hearts aren't getting lost in the heat. Okay. So it's about always checking in with yourself and making sure that you're okay. Okay. All right. And then we've got how to strengthen your connection. We've got the Queen of Wands, fire sign, or someone with a lot of fire in their chart. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Page of Swords, air sign, or someone with a lot of air in their chart. Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. So I feel like Spirit is saying that, this is about keeping the passion and the fire going in the relationship, the attraction with the Queen of Wands. Like I said, choosing each other, every day, and doing things to keep your relationship going. Because a lot of people, they do things to get into a relationship, and then when they get into a relationship, they stop. It's like doing things you need to do to lose weight, and then when you lose the weight, you stop doing them, and then you wonder why you gain the damn weight back, because you stop doing the stuff. And so when relationships fall apart, people wonder why they fall apart. Why they fall apart? It's because you stopped doing the things you was doing before. Because you ever heard people say, just like when they said with weight loss, that whatever you did to lose the weight, you have to keep doing it. Like be on your P's and Q's even more to keep it off. And it's the same thing with this. They say whatever you do to get your person, you gotta ramp up even more to keep them, right? Whatever it is you do to get them, you gotta ramp it up even more to keep them, because you work at the things that you love. It's like when you have your own business, you can't just start a business up and be like, okay, the business is running now, I'm done. You know what I'm saying? And then you don't have to do that no more. It's like with anything requires maintenance. A car fucking requires maintenance. It's like going out there in the damn car. You never get the oil changed. You never get the tires rotated. You never buy new tires. You don't buy new windshield wipers. And then you wonder when the car stopped running, why it stopped running. Because you're not doing nothing to keep it up. So Spirit is telling you with this that you have to understand that there are going to be delays when it comes to this situation, because it's the two different people trying to meld their lives, join their lives together. And then with the Queen of Wands, you got to keep, you can't just get into the relationship and just be like, oh, okay, I don't have to do nothing else no more now. You got to keep going. Life keeps going. Life keep lifing. You got to keep moving. Okay. So we got the surrender card showing up here. So your person has completely surrendered to this process, and they're just allowing it to play out the way that it is. They're keeping quiet about their feelings until the time is right. And then with the catalyst flame, it says, what if this connection isn't meant to last, but to help you prepare for the one that is? This, I feel like, was talking about what y'all, all the relationships y'all went through before you got to this. It's like you're going to understand when you get together with this person why those relationships didn't last. It was because they weren't ever supposed to. You weren't supposed to be with those people. Otherwise, you'd still be with them, right? So when it comes to you and this person are going to be on the same page. It says you want the same thing and you both show up accordingly. You're aligned emotionally and energetically, okay? And then we have, look, there's the money card. It's the second time it's shown up on your side. So some of you really have work to do when it comes to your finances, all right? Okay, let's get some messages from Spirit, and then we're going to get some messages from your person. So we have courage, all right? It says, my bravery increases with each step in the right direction. The angels remind you that you become more confident and courageous by facing your fears daily. Each time that you face fears, each time that you face fear, it slowly begins to wither away. And as a result, you start to grow into the courageous person you're meant to become. Just like when you heal, that's you going back and facing your fears about whatever the hell happened. And sometimes we blow it up in our mind and blow it out of proportion. But then when you actually go and do it, I'm not going to tell you it's not going to hurt or, you're not going to be uncomfortable. But hell, that's change. Change is uncomfortable. That's the only guarantee in this life, right? There's no guarantee you're going to be comfortable every day. There's no guarantee that life is going to be easy every day, but there is a guarantee that things are always going to change. Okay. All right. Let's get some messages from your person. Okay. So we have, I don't want to wait any longer. Please be mine. Our love is eternal. I wish you were next to me. Okay. Then we have, I always knew there was something different about you. No one will ever compare to you. I am always with you in spirit. And then we have, you are my wish fulfillment, and I want you only. Okay. All right. So let's get some romantic fairies or romance fairies, whatever it's called, oracle cards before you go. So we have rendezvous. It says a private getaway for two is calling you. Let go of the past. Clear energy to allow more love in your life. Material attachment. Too much focus on visible trappings. Okay. Then manifesting the one. Very soon your true love will arrive. Life partner. Your romance is stable and ready to go the distance. And then best friend. So this person is going to be your life partner and your best friend. It says friendship is vital to your romance. Feelings deepen and blossom. Okay. All right, Capricorn, I hope this helped. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you'd like to book a personal reading, there is a link in the description box below. Please have a happy new year. Have a good week for the rest of your week, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, Capricorn.